Welcome to the Anatomy of the Sun Tzu. I'm Sai. I'm a coach, consultant, practitioner, and author with over 4 decades of experience focused on transformation. I help clients calibrate their business models and operating models to achieve business outcomes with a focus on strategy, leadership, culture, and execution. The Sun Tzu, or the Art of War, has been foundational to my personal and professional life. Personally, I was introduced to it at a very young age. Professionally, it has been invaluable in our transformation work. The work we'll be exploring today was born from practice and integrates the experiences, lessons learned, and insights of many people, including clients and colleagues. More specifically, over the past 4 decades, while working with clients to leverage the Sun Tzu and transform their organizations, various leaders, both clients and colleagues across various levels of seniority, and I started to observe emergent patterns. These patterns ultimately transcended any one client, organization, or context and coalesced into what ultimately was fondly dubbed the anatomy of the Sun Tzu. Also, the language used herein to describe key concepts is purposefully abstract so as to avoid overly influencing you. In practice, the Sun Tzu's wisdom blends with one's insights and naturally emerges. While this approach encourages purposefully leveraging the Sun Tzu, it also demands deliberate practice, critical thinking, and deep reflection by anyone leveraging it. Thus, I'll include various examples to make the abstract language more concrete. Also, please note that I'll be using the Dhamma translation of The Art of War throughout. Appreciating the anatomy of the Sun Tzu enables us to navigate challenges and achieve success amidst the complexities of modern life. This is similar to how medical students study anatomy as a foundation for their success. The Sun Tzu is a military treatise that originated in ancient China about 2,500 years ago. It is attributed to the ancient Chinese military strategist Sun Tzu. The first chapter is both an introduction to the text and a complete summary of the text, which is composed of 13 chapters. The text is highly condensed and thought-provoking, requiring careful focus, reflection, and practice to grasp its deeper meaning and insights. The Sun Tzu, or The Art of War, offers a labyrinth of wisdom on working with chaos and conflict, working with the nature of things, and working to achieve victory over aggression through strategy, leadership, culture, execution, and much more. The Sun Tzu provides a comprehensive framework composed of pillars, elements, connections between elements, and an organization of the elements and connections. The pillars, known as the five fundamentals, establish its overall structure. The macro-level elements are its 13 chapters. The micro-level elements are the contents within the 13 chapters. The connections relate and unify its elements. The organization brings coherence across its elements and their connections, ensuring all components work together in harmony. The power of the text emerges as the text is put into practice. Chapter 1 introduces the text and the five fundamentals that define the Sun Tzu's foundational worldview. The first section introduces the Sun Tzu. The state is the central subject of the Sun Tzu. It may be interpreted as any entity that exists as an independent unit with energy, a sense of identity, and intentions. The military is the subject's central capability or collection of capabilities. The military may be interpreted as any means through which an entity ensures its integrity as a whole, allowing the entity to survive and thrive. And the ground is the context or environment in which the subject exists. The ground may be interpreted as the conditions that influence an entity or collection of entities. For example, the state may be an individual, team, community, organization, ecosystem, enterprise, some form of initiative, and so forth. The military may be an individual's skills, a collective's capabilities and initiatives, required disciplines, and so forth. The ground for an individual may be a family, multiple families, team, organization, community, and so forth. The ground for a team or community may be an organization or multiple organizations, for a team crossing organizational boundaries, and so forth. The ground for an organization may be a market or multiple markets for an organization involved in multiple markets, and so forth. The ground for an initiative may be whatever situation in which the initiative is undertaken. An entity's existence involves the natural cycle from birth to death. This journey involves struggling and surviving, succeeding and thriving, or failing towards extinction. Throughout the journey, an entity has agency, energy, identity, intentions, etc., and exists both as part of a larger whole and a whole composed of smaller parts. An entity interacts with other entities by conversing, relating, and behaving. Given that each entity is unique, tensions naturally emerge between entities and manifest as conflict, synergy, or natural coexistence. Tao may be interpreted as reality for an entity, including its capabilities, its context, its nature, the way it interacts with other entities in its context, its birth and death, its living and dying, and so forth. Reality can fundamentally be understood as a collection of tensions that arise within a specific context, reflecting the dynamic interplay of all these factors. Victory is the ultimate intent of the Sun Tzu. Victory may be interpreted as success, and being victorious may be interpreted as being successful. That is, an entity accomplishing its intentions to some degree, given its reality. The next section introduces the five fundamentals, including Tao, heaven, earth, the general, and method, which establish the Sun Tzu's overall structure. Tao may be interpreted as reality, which is best described through ecosystem thinking. From practice, we derive the maxim, acknowledge reality. This maxim is embodied in Chapter 1. Reality involves a dynamic collection of interacting entities in a specific context of space and time where intentions naturally emerge between entities and manifest as conflict, synergy, or natural coexistence. Let's delve a bit deeper into the first pillar and maxim, acknowledge reality. Reality is not good, bad, or ugly. Reality is good, bad, and ugly. The concept of or denies reality and focuses on the notion of ideality, knowingly or unknowingly. The concept of and embraces reality. Acknowledging reality is the essence of the shift from the vicious reality control cycle to the virtuous reality navigation cycle involving the sacred triad and quintessential triad, which I've discussed on other occasions. Fundamentally, first acknowledge reality, then understand reality, then act in reality, not linearly, but continuously and simultaneously. This is congruent with John Boyd's OODA loop, or observe, orient, decide, and act, and I commonly call this maxim the embracing reality pattern. For example, a retail chain acknowledges the reality that consumer behavior is shifting towards online shopping rather than in-store purchases. Understanding this change, the company adapts its strategy to focus on building a stronger e-commerce platform, investing in digital marketing, and improving their online customer experience to meet this new reality. Note, the retail chain acknowledges the reality versus judges or attempts to rationalize or denies the reality. Also note, the retail chain changes itself, its strategy, operations, and tactics relative to the reality. Heaven may be interpreted as dynamics. From practice, we derive the maxim, leverage energy in competing to achieve success. This maxim is embodied in chapters 5, 7, and 3. Dynamics involve the interplay of tensions and how interacting entities influence and impact one another. Energy involves the capacity for being, doing, and becoming. Competing involves progressing or forwarding towards one's intentions. Success involves accomplishing one's intentions while integrating all factors of reality. Let's delve a bit deeper into the second pillar and maxim, leverage energy in competing to achieve success. Energy is about capacity. Capacity for curiosity, creativity, openness, experiencing and leveraging struggle and pain, experiencing and leveraging joy, etc. This is metaphorically about seeing energy. We need to recognize energy. It is all around us. Competing is about intentions, for example, intending to win a game. Success is about accomplishing intentions, for example, actually winning the game. I commonly call this maxim the energy competing success pattern. For example, a tech startup in the crowded smartphone market uses its energy, R&D resources, to compete by developing a cutting-edge energy-efficient battery. This innovation becomes the key differentiator that helps them achieve success by outcompeting larger companies on this technical feature, positioning them as a leader in battery technology. Note, energy involves the tech startup's research and development, capacity, capabilities, or resources. Earth may be interpreted as context. From practice, we derive the maxim, leverage one's configuration in an engagement to address challenges. This maxim is embodied in chapters 4, 2, and 6. Context involves the conditions that set the stage for the interplay of tensions. Configuration involves the arrangement of one's parts to manifest one's capabilities and the situating of oneself within context. Engagement involves significant encounters of working with conflict. Conflict involves tensions, the intersection of forces, the exercising of energy. Challenges involve obstacles. Let's delve a bit deeper into the third pillar and maxim, leverage one's configuration in an engagement to address challenges. Configuration and reconfiguration is about arranging and situating. Arranging our parts and situating ourselves based on engaging challenges, that is, reality. I commonly call this maxim the configuration engagement challenges pattern. For example, a logistics company facing delivery delays configures its fleet of vehicles and adjusts its routing algorithms to optimize delivery times based on traffic and weather conditions. This reconfiguration helps them address the challenge of delayed shipments, ensuring that they engage efficiently with the challenges presented by their operational environment. Note, configuration involves the logistics company's fleet of vehicles and their routing. The general may be interpreted as leadership. From practice, we derive the maxim, leverage awareness for advancing in context. This maxim is embodied in chapters 13, 9, and 11. Leadership involves intuiting and improvising to advance one's intentions to achieve impact. Awareness involves perception. Mindfulness involves intentional consciousness of perception. Advancing involves progressing or forwarding against obstacles. Configuration in context involves the circumstantial arrangement of one's parts to manifest one's capabilities and the circumstantial situating of oneself within context. Let's delve a bit deeper into the fourth pillar and maxim, leverage awareness for advancing in context. Awareness is about perception, perception of self, others, not perception of everything, but the nuances. It's not that the devil is in the details, as they say, but the devil is in the nuances. This is also about mindfulness. Advancing is about obstacles, for example, the current play in a game. Context is about reality, for example, the game. I commonly call this maxim the awareness advancing context pattern. For example, a car manufacturer's leadership team notices that electric vehicle demand is growing in urban areas. By leveraging this awareness, the company advances by launching a new electric vehicle model specifically tailored for city driving, with compact size and fast charging capabilities that fit the urban context, thereby staying ahead of their competition. Note, awareness involves the car manufacturer noticing the change in demand. Method may be interpreted as approach. From practice, we derive the maxim, leverage transforming for aggressiveness in context. This maxim is embodied in chapters 8, 12, and 10. Approach involves employing strategies and techniques to advance one's intentions to achieve impact. Transforming involves significantly or fundamentally changing. Aggressiveness involves assertiveness or forcefulness only to the extent of integrating all factors of reality. Energy in context involves the circumstantial capacity for being, doing, and becoming. Let's talk a bit more about aggressiveness. Given that reality is a collection of tensions, conflict is one's experience of tensions. Aggression is one's experience of tension that exceeds one's tolerance, and tolerance is one's capacity and capability to work with tension, which is determined by one's energy, identity, intentions, capabilities, and so forth. Conflict, aggression, and tolerance are dynamic and subjective. For example, a leader makes a decision on behalf of a group of people. A person who agrees with the decision will experience the decision and leader as non-aggressive. A person who does not agree with the decision and has a higher tolerance for the tension it causes and whose limits of tolerance are not exceeded will experience the decision and leader as less aggressive. A person who does not agree with the decision and has a lower tolerance for the tension it causes and whose limits of tolerance are exceeded will experience the decision and leader as more aggressive. Consider another example. The use of the wrong pronoun by someone may be experienced as aggression, given how pronouns relate to one's identity. For someone with a higher tolerance, a misused pronoun may be experienced as an annoyance, but not aggression. For someone with a lower tolerance, or for whom the misuse feels like an attack on their identity, it exceeds their threshold and is experienced as aggression. It is crucial to note that the Sun Tzu neither avoids nor promotes aggression when working with conflict. Rather, it acknowledges that while aggression should not be the starting point, conflict may eventually lead to aggression, which arises when tolerance is exceeded. The goal is to manage tensions effectively, seeking to avoid escalation whenever possible, while recognizing that escalation may sometimes become necessary. And when escalation is necessary, aggression is minimal and not excessive so as to minimize the damage and destruction, and is only to the extent necessary and sufficient so as to advance one's intentions. Additionally, this minimalism maximizes the potential on which to progress beyond the aggression. Ethically, this reflects a commitment to restraint, proportionality, and intentionality, all of which are vital for maintaining control, minimizing harm, and achieving sustainable outcomes in conflict situations. Let's delve a bit deeper into the fifth pillar and maxim: leverage transforming for aggressiveness in context. Transforming is about fundamental change, or as I like to say, DNA level change. Aggressiveness is about assertiveness or forcefulness, for example, actually playing the game. Context is about reality, for example, the game. I commonly call this maxim the transforming aggressiveness context pattern. For example, a company in the food industry facing declining sales due to changing dietary preferences transforms its approach by introducing a new line of plant-based products. This aggressive shift allows them to capture a growing market of health-conscious consumers, transforming their product lineup to align with the new consumer context and aggressively expanding into this niche. Note, transformation involves the company changing its approach to focus on plant-based products and changing its product line to align with consumers. Also note, aggressiveness involves how the company's competitors experience this shift by the company to focus on health-conscious consumers. These are the 5 fundamentals that establish the Sun Tzu's overall structure, and the macro level elements are the 13 chapters. Putting the Sun Tzu into practice reveals the connections and maxims that relate and unify its elements within its overall structure. While all elements generally influence one another, some elements influence other elements more strongly and thus have a stronger connection between them. From practice, we derive the following maxims. The core maxim: one's configuration is always in context, energy is always in context. The means maxim: engagement requires awareness, competing requires transforming. The ends maxim: achieving success requires aggressiveness, addressing challenges requires advancing. The superstructure-substructure maxim: one's configuration influences energy, one's configuration in context influences energy in context. The substructure maxim: awareness influences aggressiveness, advancing influences transforming. And the superstructure maxim: engagement influences achieving success, addressing challenges influences competing. Let's delve a bit deeper into the core maxim. One's configuration is always in context. Energy is always in context. Configuration, energy, and context are at the heart of the Sun Tzu. These elements are central, fundamental, and essential to leveraging the Sun Tzu. Configuration and reconfiguration is about arranging and situating. Energy is required, and context is where it must happen. These elements are quintessential. Underappreciating or overlooking these elements is a foundation for failure. For example, a car manufacturer's product lineup is tailored to meet regional demands, with smaller cars for urban markets and larger SUVs for rural areas. Energy involves the company's ability to adapt production based on this context. Note, everything is really about the situation. Let's delve a bit deeper into the means maxim. Engagement requires awareness, competing requires transforming. Engagement, awareness, competing, and transforming are the mechanisms for leveraging the Sun Tzu. These elements are the means to an end. Engagement is not simply for the sake of engagement, and competing is not simply for the sake of competing. Engagement and competing are for the sake of success. For example, a retail company engages with customers by tracking market trends and adjusting its product offerings accordingly. It competes by transforming its sales model from physical stores to online platforms, adapting to shifting consumer behaviors. Note, everything is really about the means for addressing the situation. Let's delve a bit deeper into the ends maxim. Achieving success requires aggressiveness. Addressing challenges requires advancing. Success, aggressiveness, challenges, and advancing are the outcomes of leveraging the Sun Tzu. These elements are the ends of the means. Everything is for the sake of success, and challenges are what we must address to achieve success. For example, a tech company achieves success by aggressively marketing its latest product, pushing it through multiple channels, and heavily investing in advertising. The company advances by addressing supply chain challenges, ensuring timely delivery of products to stay ahead of competitors. Note, everything is really about the ends of addressing the situation. Let's delve a bit deeper into the superstructure-substructure maxim. One's configuration influences energy. One's configuration and context influences energy and context. Configuration, energy, and context are at the heart of the Sun Tzu. These elements are central, fundamental, and essential to leveraging the Sun Tzu. Configuration and reconfiguration is about arranging and situating. Energy is required, and context is where it must happen. These elements are quintessential. Underappreciating or overlooking these elements is a foundation for failure. For example, a food delivery company's configuration, its fleet of vehicles and delivery network, directly influences how efficiently it can deliver food. When the company considers market demand in various regions, the configuration, the type and number of delivery vehicles influences its energy in that context, such as urban versus suburban areas. Note, everything is really about the specific situation. Let's delve a bit deeper into the substructure maxim. Awareness influences aggressiveness. Advancing influences transforming. Awareness, aggressiveness, advancing, and transforming are the base or supportive elements of the Sun Tzu. They are supportive in the sense that they establish what is needed for the potential of achieving success. Without awareness, aggressiveness, advancing, and transforming, there is no potential of achieving success. For example, a fashion brand's awareness of changing consumer trends influences how aggressively it pursues marketing campaigns and product launches, allowing it to stay competitive in a fast-paced market. As the brand advances by improving its supply chain, it transforms its production techniques to become more sustainable. Note, everything is really about the supportive elements needed for the success in the situation. Let's delve a bit deeper into the superstructure maxim. Engagement influences achieving success. Addressing challenges influences competing. Engagement, success, challenges, and competing are the goals or supported elements of the Sun Tzu. They are supported in the sense that they establish what is needed for the actualization of success. Without engagement, challenges, and competing, there is no actualization of success. For example, a company's engagement with its customers through feedback surveys influences its ability to achieve success by improving customer satisfaction. Addressing logistics challenges such as shipping delays helps the company compete more effectively with other businesses that are facing similar challenges. Note, everything is really about the supported elements defining success in the situation. Putting the Sun Tzu into practice reveals the organization and maxims that brings coherence across its elements and their connections, ensuring all components work together in harmony. While all elements generally influence one another, some elements influence other elements more strongly, and thus have a stronger connection between them. These groups of elements and connections are organized around common topics, which offer different viewpoints. From practice, we derive the following viewpoints. The strategic viewpoint, which includes awareness, engagement, aggressiveness, and success, focuses on longer-term big-picture intentions and pursuing success. The operational viewpoint, which includes one's configuration, configuration in context, energy, and energy in context, focuses on bridging the gap between strategy and tactics and aligning strategic intentions and tactical needs. And the tactical viewpoint, which includes challenges, advancing, competing, and transforming, focuses on shorter-term decisions and actions to address immediate challenges and drive progress. Let's delve a bit deeper into the strategic viewpoint. Awareness, engagement, aggressiveness, and success are focused on intentions and success. For example, a software company maintains awareness of competitor products, engages with customers through user feedback, takes an aggressive stance in releasing frequent updates, and achieves success by staying ahead of the competition. Note the focus on longer-term, big-picture intentions. Let's delve a bit deeper into the operational viewpoint. Configuration, energy, and context are focused on bridging, aligning, intentions, and needs. For example, a logistics company configures its fleet to operate efficiently in urban areas, using its resources to maintain timely deliveries. The company's energy and context involves how well the system works in densely populated areas compared to rural regions. Note the focus on bridging between strategic intentions and tactical needs. Let's delve a bit deeper into the tactical viewpoint. Challenges, advancing, competing, and transforming are focused on decisions, actions, challenges, and progress. For example, a consumer electronics company faces a challenge in meeting new regulatory standards. To advance, they modify product designs, compete by launching improved versions ahead of competitors, and transform their manufacturing process to comply with new regulations. Note the focus on shorter-term decisions and actions. The strategic, operational, and tactical viewpoints are bounded by dynamics, context, leadership, and approach. The worldview influences all viewpoints, and the strategic, operational, and tactical viewpoints influence one another. Achieving success involves addressing challenges through configuration and engagement, and energy in competing while leveraging awareness for advancing and transforming for aggressiveness in context. This is the anatomy of the Sun Tzu. We can reference the interpretation of the chapters versus the chapter names explicitly. Returning to chapter 1, when the text mentions appraisals, it is the anatomy of the Sun Tzu that can guide our practice. If the Sun Tzu was to be expressed as a book more in alignment with its anatomy, it might be expressed as the art of success. In practice, this work is not generally explicitly taught, but introduced experientially as opportunities emerge in any specific context. For some, the point of entry is around strategy. For others, it is around operations, and yet for others, it is around tactics. Once introduced, the labyrinth is navigated based on the unfolding journey and experience. This work is made more accessible through various means, and this fresh perspective provides valuable insights into various related topics. Again, appreciating the anatomy of the Sun Tzu enables us to navigate challenges and achieve success amidst the complexities of modern life. In the future, we'll delve deeper into the microscopic anatomy based on this macroscopic anatomy. Don't hesitate to follow up with feedback, thoughts, and questions. Thank you for joining the Anatomy of the Sun Tzu, The Art of War.